beautiful loves. What are we doing? Let's use these. Hi babies. Welcome to Rosebloom Storytime. I'm very excited about today's Rosebloom Storytime because it's Rosebloom Storytime where I get to nerd the fuck out and I can't wait. I'm so excited. I had already selected, that sounds very official. I had already chosen the questions that I wanted to do for today's Rosebloom Storytime. It was about video games, so I was very excited. And then I was talking with Chaos a little bit in the comments because in some reading at some point between then and now, I had asked anybody if they were playing Tears of the Kingdom so that I could lose my fucking marbles about it in real time because I'm loving it. It's so good. It is fantastic. Oh, it's surpassed literally every expectation that I had for it. I'm having the best time. And Chaos had replied and said that they were being very responsible and didn't purchase the game yet, you know, which is, it's good. It's responsible. I'm very proud, very proud. But then we had gotten to chatting a little bit in the comments, and it reminded me of a story that in retrospect is extremely funny. More funny than it is embarrassing, but you know, in a Rosebloom Storytime, we need elements of both. Do you know what I mean, my loves? It's what keeps it fresh. It's what keeps it zesty here. And so I was like, I'm going to talk about this a little bit in Rosebloom Storytime. It was the very middle of like the first kind of lockdown, you know, the big, scary, sad time. And everybody was going through it. That was a collective going through it type time. And I can't remember, but EA Games was having like some sale for something, and I don't know what was going on. I don't know what was happening. I had a hankering to play Sims. I had not played Sims in years. I loved Sims. I played Sims, I think, on every fucking console in existence. Loved Sims. Would lay my life on the line for Sims. I had storylines. There were fucking family trees that, you know, fucking you couldn't even imagine. The lineage went on for centuries and centuries. And so I guess I was in an inner child moment, which makes sense, you know, in times of where we're, you know, very uncertain, unprecedented. The times they were unprecedented, I heard once or twice. And, you know, you're afraid and you're nervous. You would want to, you know, go to comforts. You would, you know, a lot of inner child work done in that point in time. So for me, that manifested in a desperate need to play Sims for the first time in like 5 years. Because I missed it. I missed it so much. And I would watch like people doing builds and stuff. And I was like, oh God, I wish that were me. I missed it so bad. So I, being an adult, being a grown-up girl with her grown-up money and her grown-up credit card, shouldn't be trusted with a credit card. That was my bank's first mistake. This is their fault, basically. I was like, I mean, it's on sale. So what if I just like, what if I got like a little game, little expansion pack, like nothing crazy. Let's not get crazy. And the world of Sims had evolved so fucking much from the last time I'd played it. Like, baby, I am out of the fucking loop. It is sad. It is sad times over here. What's cute is that like the friends I had in school who actively played Sims, like religiously, still play Sims. Like, I have a friend, she's married, she's full-time job, she's about to start her family, and she's like, yeah, I come home and I play Sims, and I'm like, I love what we have. It's so important to me. And yeah, the world of Sims had evolved. They had like a fucking expansion packs. You could be like a vampire, you could be a fucking mermaid or some shit. They had like the world was my oyster. And so, tee hee, ha ha, I was not immune. I was not immune to all of that. And you know, the thing about online shopping, the thing is, it's just so easy to click, you know, it's so easy to push a button, and it's so easy for the number in your little shopping cart to go up, and it's so easy, bottom of the deck, my babies, it's good, it's good. It's just so easy, you know, people don't tell you how easy it is, but it's just so easy. So a little hee hee ha ha Sims game and a little hee hee tee hee expansion pack turned into me spending $280, which, in my defense, does not sound like a lot in the grand scheme of things, right? Video games do be expensive now, my baby, but lest we forget, because I won't let myself forget, it was an 80% off sale. So, you know, the math isn't mathing, you know what I mean? It's just, it's not, it just wasn't. And this, I'm an incredibly indecisive person. Not indecisive per se. It takes me a very long time to get to a decision. I can weigh pros and cons for 164 years consecutively, my love, before I come to a decision. So I will get to the decision. It takes a little bit of time to get there. So by the time this was all said and done, it was about 2 a.m. And sure, abso-fucking-lutely. So I started playing and I had a fucking ball. It was amazing. It was gorgeous. Oh baby, it was good. It was so good. It was so fun. And then I went to sleep. And then I woke up 3 hours later because I am a mother to a young child. And reality hit so hard, my baby. Reality hit so hard. It hit hard in the way it can only hit before 6:30 in the morning. You know, that kind of reality. And I was like, what the fuck have I done? I spent almost $300 on Sims. And I felt so silly. I really psyched myself out. I made myself feel bad for something that sparked immense joy just a few hours prior. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, okay, here we fucking go. So, when you purchase things online from EA Games, they're pretty adamant that, like, you know, can't really refund it, you know. But I refuse to be, you know, rejected outright in such a way by a terms and conditions document. So I hopped on the little customer service there. And she was just a darling. She was an absolute sweetheart. And, you know, I was like, listen, I did not pretend. You know, I could have pretended I was intoxicated. I could have pretended I was fucking hacked or some shit. Could have done a lot of things. But, you know, honest to a fault, I have been told before, will continue to be so. And so I just told my new sweet friend, I told her, you know, I had a lapse in judgment and I bought a lot of games and spent a lot of money. I sure did do that. But if we're being real, if real does in fact recognize real, I'm probably not going to play them that much. And it's a lot of money, and I feel bad about the choice that I make. And oh, this was a very embarrassing monologue I was giving her. I am not above humiliation in any form, and I think my daily life and existence on this platform will attest to that. And I went on and I was like, it was a bad choice and I didn't mean to make it and I regret it now. And I'm honestly probably not going to play this game more than like once every 2 weeks. And I feel bad about the choice that I make. So can you please save me? Can you save me from myself? Can you please save me? Can you help me? Can you please help me and save me from this that I have done to myself? Please. And it was a long few minutes of those little typing dots on her end. Long few minutes. And she was like, I'm gonna need to speak to my supervisor. I'm sorry if I'm far away. I'm tying my hair up. I keep forgetting to do that before I start filming, and then I have to lean really far back so I don't fucking hair whip the camera or the microphone. I'm gonna have to speak to my supervisor because I'm not sure we can help you, but like just hang on. And I was like, I'm humiliated, hun. Please save me from the trenches. So she was gone for like an hour and a half. Absolutely, yeah, it was gone, just gone. She just vanished. She's like, I don't get paid enough for this shit. I don't get paid enough for this silly woman to come in here with her fucking mess. And you know what, baby? That's fair. That is valid and that is fair. And she came back and she's like, okay, so I spoke to my supervisor, and you know, because this is your first time asking for a return, we're gonna do it. But you know, I am this is the part that drove it home. She's like, I am really gonna strongly advise that next time you really think through a purchase before you make it. And I was like, listen, I deserve this, thank you, but it does make me feel shy. And I was very grateful, and I got my money back, and I didn't get to play Sims, and I was sad because I did really want to play it. I wanted to make a vampire castle, but you know, it was one of those things. So Chaos being very financially responsible in regards to video games made me think of that, made me think of a time when I was very much not, when I got a little too silly for my britches, and I had to embarrass myself in front of this kind woman and her supervisor, who were like, I know you're a grown woman, but next time could you think before you do something? And I was like, listen, very rarely do I do that. I just have to let you know. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I have been scoping through, is that sure? Yeah, like a submarine. My DMs and my emails and catching up on things slowly but surely. Made a lot of headway, I will say, made a lot of headway. And Instagram has been a sneaky little dickens and has hid a lot of message requests, like hidden them, like not even brought up that I have a message request, just been like, there's nothing here, you don't need to look here, don't worry about it. And then I click on it and they're like, ah! It's like scattering cockroaches. They're like, oh no, she found us. So a lot of people have been messaging me and they got lost in the trenches. So I'm sifting through them, getting through them. There was like a dozen people who had sent messages talking about that they were playing Tears of the Kingdom. Somebody even said they were literally playing it while watching my videos. Oh my god. Oh my god. Baby, that's the crossover we need, my love. That is what we deserve. So I've been getting to nerd out and talk about Zelda with a lot of very beautiful, very wonderful rosebuds, and I'm having a fucking blast. So today's Rosebloom story time topic question, ta-da, is from someone I cannot remember. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's getting, we're fading fast. We're getting, the star is collapsing. We're getting to the point where I have like such a backlog that eventually it's just like a beautiful sweet rosebud, which is very true. I'm sorry. If it was you and you want to be like, hey baby, this was my good idea, you let me know, my love, and I will be remorseful and appreciative. It's my resting state. And it's just my initial response to everything. Initially remorseful, then appreciative. Sometimes both at the same time. And we had been talking about video games, peak, and they asked me, they're like, do you have like a single top video game crush? And I was like, come on now. Come on now. Yes. And then I started to go on like a tangent, and I was like, well, if I really think about it, and they were like, okay, well, why don't you talk about it in Rosebloom Storytime? You can talk about your top five video game crushes. And I was like, this is what I live for. This is the shit that I live for. This is the peak for me. We can only, like, we can't go higher than this. This is the shit that I live for. I cannot express that in a strong enough way. So let's fucking talk about it, because it does correlate to the next Rosebloom Storytime we're going to talk about in a few minutes that just happened like fucking 2 hours ago, and I'm shaking and crying and shaking. Metaphorically speaking. Okay, so in no particular order, because these don't have a particular order, because I can't put them in a particular order, because I love big and strong and, and a lot. But top of the pops, when I think of my video game crush, strongest in recent times would be Dimitri from Fire Emblem Three Houses. But if we go like a couple years ago, before that, it would probably be Vincent Valentine from Final Fantasy VII. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm a woman of extremely fantastic taste. You're correct. But I'm also incredibly predictable, because there was a span of 3 to 4 years where I did have very, very, very strong romantic feelings towards Gerard Way, between the ages of something and some such. And could that have then correlated to seeing Vincent Valentine and being like, oh my fucking God? You know, there's no way to be sure. There's no way to tell for certain. There's no way to say yes or no. I am a woman of a certain aesthetic. This is true. Oh, goodness me. In a different breath, it would be Sephiroth. Yeah. Now I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. For those of you who are familiar with Final Fantasy VII, you're thinking, God, she's right. And that's true. But I am not immune. I am not immune to that evil rat bastard. He's gorgeous. He's gorgeous and he's powerful. The one wing, they didn't. The Lucifer symbolism. I mean, I'm only so strong. I only have so much will within me. Goodness gracious. Along with that would be Sylvain from Fire Emblem Three Houses. I like the misunderstood. You know what I mean? I like people to have a perception, and then for the perception to be wrong, because there's layers to that dip. You know what I mean, my baby? There's deeper we can go. And the character development, the as you perceive me isn't how I really am. It goes much deeper. Come on now. Come on now. After that, how many we have? We have 4. Oh, okay. After that would be Lulu from Final Fantasy X. And if you're familiar, I don't fucking need to explain myself at all. At all. They had no right. Zero right. Bisexual awakening. 110 fucking 1000%. Lulu from Final Fantasy X was my bisexual awakening. And I have 3 friends who are of a similar wavelength, where Final Fantasy VII or Final Fantasy X contributed to their bisexual awakening. And that's just the fucking power of the Final Fantasy franchise. Yeah, but top, initial, most, strongest, longest lasting would be Vincent Valentine from Final Fantasy VII. Titus. Because there are people who are like, oh my god, Final Fantasy VII, Yuna, Titus, Pain, Riku, Final Fantasy VII, I meant Final Fantasy X too. And like, that's all very true. Yuna, please. Gorge. Auron as well. I get it. I do. I understand it. I get it. Jecht? No. Sorry. I know that doesn't make sense because I was like, Sephiroth, Jecht, no. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I think it's because he wasn't nice enough to his son initially from his son's perception, and I cannot forgive that shit. You know, which again, if you're familiar with Sephiroth's character arc, makes me sound like a fucking buffoon, and perhaps I'm just a fucking buffoon. Titus. Okay. I love the boy. I love the lad. I do. I love the way he loves. Top scene for me in, I think, all of video gamery is the water scene, the water kissing scene in Final Fantasy X. I think that is the most gorgeously impactful cutscene a video game has ever had for me. Legendary shit. Especially of its time. Fucking mind-boggling. It was gorgeous. And he was, in that moment, in those like 90 to 180 seconds, probably one of the hottest dudes in the history of animated people. Or whatever the fuck. Absolutely valid. True. Real. The way that he loves, gorgeous. Pinnacle. Protective, love it. Doting, love it. Brave, love it. I do not know what it is about him. Because again, brave, doting, protective, handsome, sweet guy, love him, devoted. It's cute as hell. He's fantastic, adorable. Something about him in the beginning parts of that game drove me up a fucking wall. And I know it's not supposed to, because there's a lot that he doesn't understand. There's a lot that he's figuring out. He's going through his own feelings. I don't know. There are some points where he's just such a little whiny piss baby. It drives me up a fucking wall. I cannot stand it. I don't know what it is. I know that's really harsh. I love the boy. I love the boy. I love that boy. Grinds my gears a little bit. I gotta be honest. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Maybe my taste isn't that great. I don't know. I mean, my taste is great because Vincent Valentine, my baby, you gotta, we're up here with that, okay? We're top of the pops with the Vincent Valentine. And Dimitri. If you're familiar with, I know that's like kind of either you're into it or you're not at all. franchise, the Fire Emblem franchise, Dimitri of Fire Emblem Three Houses. Oh my God. And okay, listen. I was flummoxed because initially when he comes on, he's like the favorite that everyone expects to have. And I don't ever go for that person. I'm so different. I'm so unique. I'm just so against the grain. But no, truly, like, he's blonde, blue-eyed. He's a fucking prince. He's got like the prince outfit. He's tall. He's chivalrous. He has the Chris Hackney chivalrous voice. I love Chris Hackney. And I'm like, okay, fucking fine. He's like shy and a little awkward, and like that really does it for me. But the rest of it, I'm like, okay. But then my stars, he gets a little something different. Gets a little, there's a war going on. The war gets to him. Gets a little rough, little intense. And I'm over here clutching my pearls like, oh my goodness gracious, what is happening? Yeah, so I still think Vincent Valentine beats him out. Yeah, just like that much. But if Fire Emblem Three Houses didn't exist, it would be a no contest Vincent Valentine thing. Cloud from Final Fantasy VII. I know I love him. He is alongside Tidus for me. I love him. He is wonderful, a fantastic character, just a fucking marvelous character. But I just, it's not for me. He is not mine. I love him, but he is not mine type energy. You know what I mean, my loves? But yeah, Vincent Valentine, pinnacle. That which then carries me forward into the fact that today, whatever fucking date it is, there was the Summer Game Fest. And if you're familiar, I've been gnawing on my fist for 4 hours. For those of you that follow me on Instagram, might have seen me scream, might have seen me lose my absolute fucking shit about the announcement for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Oh my God. The fact that I had been planning to do the 5 video game crushes for Rosebloom Storytime today, and then that got announced hours before I started filming. It was, oh my God. I feel faint. It is gorgeous. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I was literally bouncing in my seat while watching it. I've watched the trailer about 800 times. Just so we're all aware. I'm so fucking excited. It looks incredible. The cutscene with Sephiroth at the end. Baby. I'm not immune. I don't know how to tell, because the man is so fucking evil. I'm so excited. I am so fucking excited. It looks gorgeous. It looks like it's gonna be amazing. Okay. The fact that it has 2 discs in this day and age, my baby, I have never wailed so internally in my life when they were like, on 2 discs. I was like, baby, take me back to 2001. This is a big chunky game. It's gonna be fucking huge. Oh my God, there is no feeling quite like a 2-disc game when you get to the point where it's like, remove, insert disc 2, and you're like, I have that. And it's so fucking exciting. I have such high hopes for the story, because that is a story that they have really unfolded over the years. There's been fucking movies, there's been spin-offs, there's been like that there is so much to that story, but the cool thing is that they made this beautiful fucking vast universe with these characters that there's so much to still unfold. I'm so excited. I'm so fucking excited. I don't even know. I don't even know what to tell you. I cannot wait to see Sephiroth in 5,000 million HD over the span of 2 discs. I can't wait to see the little sweet little fucking found family best friendies going against him. I love their dynamic. Nobody does found family like Final Fantasy. I have to say, my darlings, nobody does Final Fantasy like Final Fantasy. What the fuck am I saying? Found family like Final Fantasy. The dynamic, the personalities of the characters being so fleshed out and so involved in the storytelling and in their interactions, whether they're mundane or meant to drive the story plot forward. Oh my god. Oh, I can't fucking wait. I cannot fucking wait. I didn't even, honestly, can't even fucking tell you, can't even pinpoint a fucking other thing that was announced or happened for Summer Game Fest. Because once that happened, I just went, like, I got fucking tunnel vision. Like, I was gone. I didn't know what to do with myself. My middle brother, who we've, like, played video games together. Both my brothers played video games together all our lives, but my middle brother and I were into more of the same types of games, whereas my oldest brother was into more like Madden and FIFA and Call of Duty and stuff like that. And I was like, I get scared with FPS games. I get shy, and I can't follow along in sports games, much like real life. So, excuse you, little friend. Okay, bye. Thank you. Summertime Bugfest. And my middle brother is away right now. He's on the other side of the country. He's in the rural life thing. He's hard to get a hold of. Bad signal where he is. And I'm so upset because my knee-jerk reaction when I saw this was to call him and just scream directly into his ear through the phone. And I can't do that, so I'll have to send him some very loud voice notes over Instagram, because I'm so fucking excited. I am so fucking excited. I am more excited for this than I was for the remake. Like, bar none. Like 1,000,000,000%. The Final Fantasy VII remake, I mean. I am, I think, as excited for this as I was for when they came out with the Final Fantasy X 10-2 HD remake for the Switch. And I was like, oh. So I'm so excited. I literally, I'm not exaggerating, almost have tears in my eyes when I think about it. I'm so fucking excited. It's gonna be so good. I can't wait to ride a chocobo again for the first time in a new game. Anyway, Final Fantasy. I don't know. I love you. Anywho, my darlings, I don't know how long I've been rambling, but that's enough story time for today, I think. Don't you? Twinkle, 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 twinkle. Hello, my loves. My name is Katie of Rosebloom Readings. Thank you so much for being here with me today, my loves. I'm out of breath. I'm sorry. I was talking about Final Fantasy a lot and talking about video game crushes. My heart rate's like fucking 210 right now. Whew. I'm excited. Today's reading, my darlings, is one that literally Spirit just brought up earlier on a meditation. I was planning on doing a different one, and Spirit said, nope, baby, we have an idea for you. And I was like, okay, sounds weird. I'm down. Today's reading, my darlings, we are going to be looking into a message from your past self and a message from your future self. And that was very interesting to me because I've done messages from your future self before. That's very common, and that's kind of where I was expecting somewhat today's reading to go, but it was the message from your past self that really had me go kind of like, hmm. But it does make a lot of sense. I feel like, you know, it just feels like it's important. It's important to receive either closure or appreciation or advice or guidance from our past selves as well as from our future selves. So it should be very interesting. I've never done anything like that before. I'm very excited. I hope that you're excited, my darlings. We have 4 piles today here, my loves. One day it might be different. I'm honestly fucking doubt it. Pile number 1 is adventure. Pile number 2 is you are worth it. Pile number 3 is infinite blessings, and pile number 4 is catch your breath. I need to do that. I'm in Final Fantasy mode. I'm excited. I'm fluttery. I'm having a nice time. Timestamps will be down below, my darlings. As always, take as long or as little as you need. If you're feeling a little foggy, need some more clarity, you can take a long breath in through your nose, hold it for 4 seconds. Let it out slowly through the mouth, my loves. If you feel drawn to more than one pile, it is most likely because there are messages that are meant for you in each of those piles, my darlings. Trust your intuition. Whatever you feel drawn to is what is meant for you. Take the messages that resonate with you and leave behind what doesn't for those who are meant to receive it, my darlings. Take as long as or as little as you need. I mean that. There is no rush. I'm not in any rush. Pause the video if you need to. When you're ready, I will also be ready, and we will get started. Hello, 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 my beautiful darlings. So right off the bat, my loves, with your card adventure, I could hear somebody telling me that you are nowhere near where you once have been. And so that feels like it's more so from your past self. I do feel like in some instances the messages are kind of jumble together, but it does feel as though that was a message from your past self, because it was like, it was almost an awe. It was like, you're nowhere near where you once were. Like, look at how far you've gone. So some of you in the last 3 years could have moved locations. You could have moved either just houses, you could have gotten out of relationships, moved out of your, you know, childhood homes, your living situation. Some of you could have moved across country, different country, changed up your whole fucking life. It does feel as though a lot of you, my darlings, are in your 30s or are going through, are just about to go through, or have just recently gone through your Saturn return as well, my loves. And we have heighten your vitality. Okay, that's gorgeous. Okay, that's beautiful. Oh, I'm loving what we're getting in this, my darlings. So it does feel... We have the wheel, my babies. This is all good things. We have the wheel, we have the Queen of Cups. Holy fucking shit. Okay. It does feel very strongly... What am I pulling first? I want to pull this first. As though you're very, 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 very tapped into your intuition, in the form of either you're having very vivid, very, very, very prophetic dreams. Your meditations are extremely vivid, or just your clairvoyance, my darlings, your ability to see, your ability to have visions is very clear. But it does feel as though with the energy here, I feel like you're experiencing a lot of deja vu as well, my darlings. And it does feel as though, for some of you, it feels like that's something that goes back to childhood. For others of you, it feels like it's something that started in this new place. But the nice thing is, my loves, we have thriving. Yeah, absolutely. Thriving and trust, exactly. I was literally just about to talk about that. The nice thing is that you're really trusting your intuition as of late. And I feel as though that trust has led you to go on this adventure, has led you to kind of make a big, significant, somewhat intimidating, somewhat frightening change and go forward for it. And I feel like your past self is really acknowledging that, because it feels like for a long time that wasn't something that you could trust. Your instinct was not something that you were encouraged to trust or to listen to. And it feels like, you know, there were a lot of instances where what you saw or felt or believed you should or shouldn't do, you kind of went in the opposite direction, or you would, you know, bring it up and somebody would be like, oh, how can you trust a feeling? And it's because you're intuitive as fuck, my darlings, how you can trust a feeling. And so you kind of went against what felt right in a lot of instances, and you kind of went against what you felt called to do and the path you felt called towards, and you went in the opposite direction, and then it wouldn't go well for you, my darlings. You would have a lot of remorse. You would have a lot of, you know, kind of like an I told you so moment, but it's like, well, it doesn't matter that I told you so because I'm the one now stuck in this situation. And so your past self is really acknowledging and appreciating the fact that, you know, you're at a point now where you can really trust and listen to and acknowledge. I'd like these two, please, my loves. Thank you. Your intuition, and it's leading you to wonderful places, my darlings. We have expect powerful change, work through your fears, and look at the bigger picture. And my eye keeps being drawn to the wheel, my darlings, and I can, bottom of the deck is, it's time to release negativity. I can hear Spirit saying fortune favors the bold. And I feel like that is an acknowledgement from your future self, kind of like a reassurance, a reminder from your future self, but also an encouragement from your past self as well, where it's like, you know, we were afraid for a very long time. It does feel as though, you know, work through your fears. Exactly. I forgot that existed until my hand landed on it and they were like, you're talking about that. And I was like, ah, wow. But it does feel as though there were a lot of instances where, you know, fear took over a lot of your life, and it limited a lot of your actions and a lot of your belief in yourself. And so you kind of, you know, sort of allowed yourself, or sort of succumbed to a place of fear. And there wasn't a lot of motion. There wasn't a lot of improvement. There wasn't a lot of change or shift. It was, oh, it's Rowan that scared me. It's like, you know, where we are is sort of where we're settling, because to move forward is a risk that has the chance of a huge reward, but a risk nonetheless. And it does feel as though your past self is this very, I'm seeing like a very, 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 very young kind of, like baby deer, like very, very young and small, and they're kind of timid, and they're like hiding behind things a lot, and, you know, they kind of peek out curiously, but then they scuttle back, and they don't come out of a place where they can easily hide from. And that's really what your past self feels like. It feels like, you know, you were in a state where even if something didn't feel right or necessarily good, if it felt secure and as though you could hide within it, then it's a place you didn't move from. So there is so much pride for you, in the fact that you have grown out of that. You, my darlings, because the credit goes to you and nobody else. Nobody else. If you have been supported, if you have been helped, if you have been loved through it, that is fantastic, and you deserve nothing less. But at the end of the day, my darlings, the credit goes to you for being the one to take these actions, to make these improvements, to heal through this, and to go forward in the way that you're deserving of, my loves. And you deserve to give yourself that credit, my darlings. So your past self is very appreciative of the fact that you've walked out of that kind of brush, that little safe hidey hole, and you've gone forward, and you've looked around and said, no, I don't want to exist in this space anymore. This isn't for me. This isn't what I want my forever to look like. And it feels like some of you had like really, really, really intense wake-up calls. And, you know, some of you could have been engaged or married to somebody you didn't want to be with. Some of you could, you know, have been about to start a family, or perhaps did start a family with somebody that you didn't want to be in a relationship with. You could have been working a job that you didn't like. You could have been in a, you know, in university or in college for something that you just didn't, it didn't feel like it was you. It felt like there were so many situations that you were placed in, that the decisions were of someone else's. And so your future self is coming through and saying, We get to decide now. The changes that we go for, the experiences that we have now are our own. And fortune favors the bold, my babies. There is big shifts. There is massive changes coming for you, have done as well, but continuing to do so, especially in the next 10 months, I'm hearing, where those shifts are going to keep coming, but they're positive shifts, because I feel like the concept of shifts, my darlings, can get you a little bit, a little bit uncertain, because, you associate shift and change with tower moments, with, the death card, death and rebirth, massive transformation kind of energy. And it's not always that, my babies. Things can shift and move in a more gradual way, in a gentler way, in a way that, doesn't require destruction or crumbling or breaking open or anything like that, but can still allow movement and shift. And it feels like that's what your future self is saying, is like, allow that movement and shift, trust that movement and shift. And your past self is saying, we're so fucking proud of you, of us, for making those changes, for looking around at your life and saying, no, none of these decisions have been my own. None of this is what I have wanted. And some of you, I am hearing, we have courage. Absolutely. I was literally about to get into it. Thank you, my babies. Courage, beauty. I'd like you, please, my love. You sneaky little, oh, nope. Yeah, there you go. And happiness. Oh, my babies, come on now. Oh, it's gorgeous. I love to see it. I'm so fucking excited for you, my babies. And bottom of the deck is fertility. So, some of you could... What am I pulling? I'd like to pull these next, please. Excuse your own snoring. Some of you could, have started a family. Some of you, could be pregnant currently, and have gotten out of a relationship. And for those of you that resonates with, it does feel as though, that monumentous, huge transformation in your life was the catalyst for you looking around and being like, no, I don't want to be with this person. I don't want to live in this place. I don't want to work this job. I have this beautiful, wonderful, gorgeous living being that I'm creating, or that I've, welcomed into my life, and I'm not gonna settle for less than, because that's not what they deserve. And in that love and unconditional adoration and devotion, it's reflected back towards you as well, my darlings. And for some of you, you don't even have to have a child. It's just that level of adoration and devotion has been reflected to yourself, to be like, no, this isn't what I deserve. I deserve better. I deserve to be appreciated. I deserve to be respected and valued and treated well and with kindness. And I deserve good things. I deserve happiness, my babies. A lot of you have gone on very, very, very intense, spiritually awakening journeys in the last 3 years. Yeah, my babies. You've gone through, difficult things. You've had a lot of happiness with the sun there, my babies. You are well loved, my darlings. You are well loved. You are well appreciated. Bottom of the deck is door to personal healing and happiness. This is beautiful. The energy in this reading is gorgeous. Butterflies and rainbows and suns are huge signs for you, my darlings, I'm hearing. But yeah, huge awakenings, a lot of, connecting with spirit, a lot of devotion to meditation. Some of you have started learning about crystals, divination tools, tarot cards, oracle cards. Some of you have just started, seeking out, intuitive counsel, or, watching, intuitive readings more so, just learning more about it, learning more about, people's experiences with it, and in turn, your own experiences with it. And that's brought you a lot of comfort. I'm feeling very strongly that kind of connection has brought you a lot of comfort in a phase in your life where a lot has come to light. Everything in your life has been completely illuminated, my darlings. And that's for the better, because it's impossible to deny things, to put on rose-colored glasses, or however else one may phrase it, when things are illuminated fully. You know, when you're standing outside and there is not a fucking cloud in the sky and the sun is at its highest point and it is illuminating everything around you, it is impossible to deny that 10 feet in front of you is a tree, and that 5 feet that way is a rock, and that this is that, and blah, 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 blah. And it feels like that's what you had to go through was, you know, I can no longer deny the truth of the situation that I'm in. And in that truth, I can no longer deny the way that it has made me feel and that it is making me feel. And because I love myself, because I value myself, because I want better for myself, I have to change this. And you have, my babies. You have. Some of you haven't yet made that big move, that big change, but you are in the process of it. For those of you that are still on the fence about it, this would be your confirmation that it is the choice for you to make, my loves. And the choice for you to make has nothing to do with a specific decision to move to a specific place, to get a specific job. The confirmation is the choice that you are making for yourself. What is for your highest good? What feels right to you? In what way are you and can you prioritize yourself, my darlings? And going forward in that direction is what Spirit very much wants for you, my loves. I'm hearing your future self say that, you know, what is happening now or what has just happened isn't forever. Thank you, my loves. It is going to heal. Yeah. Thank you, my baby's beautiful confirmation. It is going to heal. It is going to get better. There is going to be a point in time, not even too far in the future, my darlings, where you don't remember the way that this felt. All you have left over is the fact that you got all major arcana, my babies. You are well loved, my loves. Truly and genuinely. Bottom of the deck is Queen of Cups again. Absolutely gorgeous. You won't remember, you know, the intensity of the feeling that you're going through right now. You're only going to remember the fact that you got through it, and that's more prevalent, my darlings. It does feel as though, which is with anything, you know, in order to go through something, we have to feel it. And, you know, recognizing that your feelings can be felt without them changing your perception of something. Do you know what I mean, my darlings? Because, you know, to move through something, to let something go, to move past something, even if it's something we no longer want to be a part of at all, we no longer want anything to do with, the fact that we're leaving behind does instill in us a sense of grief in whatever form, grand or small. And it feels like that's kind of where you're at. You know, some of you have left behind partners that you have no desire to ever fucking be around again. Or left living situations with people that you would rather dip yourself in a nice warm tub of lava than live with again. So it's curious for you that, you know, you feel a depth of sadness. But that's a natural response to anything, my darlings. You know, to leave a circumstance that we know we never want to be a part of again, we're going to feel sadness because we're going towards something different. We are releasing something. We're letting something go. We're removing something that, whether or not it was beneficial to us, whether or not it's something we wanted, whether or not it's something that's good for us, we are still losing that thing. And so if you feel a sense of grief, my darlings, it doesn't mean that you haven't grown as much as you have. It doesn't mean that you haven't healed as much as you have. All that it means, my loves, is that you're releasing something. So feel the feelings as they demand to be felt, my darlings. Work your way through them. Be gentle with yourselves, but understand that those feelings are not meant to alter your perception of things as they stand. You know, things are a lot clearer in sunlight than they are in moonlight, my loves. We have Blackbird, open to psychic awareness to recognize portents of the future. Bald Eagle, from a strong foundation, you may build anything. And Western Bluebird, lend a helping hand and never forget that spring will return. I could not Bottom of the deck is Albatross, conserve your energy and reap bountiful rewards. That's a beautiful card, but that card does always remind me of, I don't know, I always think of it on Just Dance, the Albatross song. But I'm an albatross, meh. And it's a fun song. Um, but beautiful confirmation here, my darlings. The albatross does confirm that right now you are meant to take things as easily as you can. And that's a message that's coming from both your past and your future, because it feels like that's something you don't have an easy time doing. You've never felt very comfortable with relaxing. Some of you, I'm hearing you say you don't even know how to relax. And for some of you, I'm hearing you say, like, how can I relax? Because I'm not really doing anything. Some of you could be between jobs. Some of you could be, you know, couch surfing with loved ones right now. And, you know, sometimes what we're doing doesn't have to be so surface level. It doesn't have to amount to getting up every day, working a full-time job, coming home and being like, oh, I'm exhausted. You know, you have been through so much emotional transformation, my darling, so many shifts, so much up and down momentum, so much, you know, so many sleepless nights where you've been thinking deeply about, okay, if I move on from this situation, where do I go? What does that look like? Deep-seated, heart-centered decisions that you've been making, my darlings. Forgot how to count. And so if you feel like you need rest, my loves, that is as much permission as you need to take that rest. You don't need to prove anything to anybody or yourself, my darlings, that you need that rest. If you feel that you need the rest, that is as much evidence as you need, my darlings. I'm hearing your future self say as well, the clean slate is stronger than you're worried it is. Which makes a lot of sense, because when we're starting something new, when we're starting completely fresh, you're rebuilding something, you know, with your own heart, soul, and hands. It's like, how do I know that this has the strength to stand, to survive? And you know it does, my darlings, because its will to stand and to survive reflects your own, my loves. And it does feel as though your future self's will to be strong and survive shines so brightly and radiantly that your past self is nothing but completely grateful to you for that. Because it's something that your past self very much needed, my darlings, and that's just a process of growth and time and healing, and you've done that, my loves, and you should be extremely proud of yourselves. I'm extremely proud of you. We have healing the mother line, healing ancestral work, mother line growing up. Jesus. Got the sun again, my babies. I'm telling you, you're well loved, well looked after. We have open, say yes, expand through the extremes, trust life, the return, a new story, you decide, alignment, and it's coming together. The synchronicities in your reading alone are such a huge confirmation for me that, one, you're intuitive as fuck, my babies. Trust your intuition. I'm hearing that very, 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 very clearly, again, from both sides. Trust your intuition, because I know that that's still something that's a little bit unfamiliar to you, but your intuition is so on the fucking nose, my babies. It is so clear. It is so detailed. It is so undeniably accurate. Trust your intuition, my loves. Trust where it's leading you, because it does feel as though a lot of you, I'm feeling, have already started on this journey, and will continue on that journey. And, you know, you're on a new journey, my babies, so not everything is going to be certain. Not everything is going to be set in stone. Not everything is going to come about in the way that we anticipate, predict, or even see it initially. But trust your intuition, my loves. Trust the way that you feel about situations, about people, about circumstance, because it is accurate. I am getting that so clearly. And the fact that we're getting confirmation after confirmation after confirmation, but also the fact that we've gotten happiness, the sun again, etc., etc., so many times over tells me very clearly that you are seeing things as they are, my loves. And because your past self is telling me that hasn't always been the case, you've seen things always as they are, but you've had people in your ear, could be related to the maternal line, could be related to a close friend, somebody you have, you know, built a life alongside, somebody who you have depended on very much so, who you are now realizing perhaps didn't have your best interest at heart at all times. Some of you, it's a romantic connection, a previous romantic connection, I should say. But it does feel as though, you know, there has been a specific influence who's kind of put their hand over your eyes and stopped you from seeing things as they are. So even though you've seen things as they stand, to have this person, you know, cover your eyes and be like, no, 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 that's probably not what it was. And for you to be like, oh, okay, I guess not. That hand is no longer there, my loves. You have actively removed that hand. You are now seeing things as they are, as they clearly are, my loves. And it's going to be fantastic. It is going to be fantastic because there is nothing but pure gratitude from your past self and nothing but encouragement and appreciation from your future self, because of all of the wonderful things that you're welcoming, my loves. I do feel for a lot of you, it does feel like a move. It does feel like a significant change. It does feel as though there has been a cord cut. It does feel as though there's separation. I'm feeling Archangel Michael with you very closely, my darlings. Archangel Michael is courage. Archangel Michael is also the cord cutter, severing what no longer serves us, what we're no longer meant to carry, and allowing us to move forward towards what we're meant to be having, my darlings, with none of the extra weight. Even the roses here, it does feel very much like that's kind of the process. It's like, you know, it's almost like you're so not used to being allowed to bloom, being given the room, the wherewithal, the space, the encouragement, the belief to bloom, that even though you're in like a little half-bloomed state right now, which is still fantastic, my loves, I can hear your future self saying like, no, baby, you have no idea what's to come. Like, there is so much more space that you are meant to take up, my loves. And you're meant to have that space, and that space will be yours, my darlings. There's a lot of success in that space. I am seeing supportive friendships. A lot of you, I am feeling you're not ready for a romantic connection, you're telling me. A lot of you, you know, need or very much want that kind of space and time outside of a romantic connection to reconnect with yourself, and that's wonderful, my darlings. Those of you that want a romantic connection, or even those of you that aren't yet ready for it but will one day be, it's going to be fantastic. I'm hearing found family and great support system from your future self as well, my darling. So a lot of really good things coming. Financial security as well. For some of you, it feels like you've had to kind of bounce around to like odd jobs, or some of you could have done freelance work. I'm hearing your future self say, no, like what we get is solid, is consistent, the pay is good. And you do find your home. I'm hearing you very clearly, my loves. You do find home, not a place that you call home. You find home in all of the ways that you have always wanted it, going back to your very young selves, my darlings. The things that you have wanted when you were very young, the things you envisioned when you played make-believe, when you played, you know, toys, when you made up stories in your head, when you had dreams, etc., 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 when you were younger. That is what I am seeing is very, very, very closely linked to what you will have, my darlings. Is there anything else? Oh my God, they give me a shiver and they tell me no. This is beautiful. Oh my goodness gracious, what a fucking strong note to start on, my babies. I cannot. I just cannot. I just don't have the means. I don't have the ability. That's absolutely gorgeous. I hope that you enjoyed that, my loves. I am so happy for you. It's happening so quickly too. Like, it is just nothing but forward momentum. It's like, don't look back. We're not going there. But it feels like you don't even want to look back, my loves. Like, you're so far past that. You're so ready for this. You're so ready to go towards the sun. You're so ready for your new exciting life. You're so ready for the things that you know you're worthy of having and that you will have. The things that, you know, are better than what you've had, that you deserve. And that's fucking fantastic. But I hope you enjoyed that, my loves. If you did, please feel free to leave a comment and let me know. I love talking to you. I love hearing from you. If the reading resonated, my energy resonated, please feel free to subscribe. All of my links for Patreon that has the extended 18+ readings, monthly forecasts, exclusive monthly readings, my Instagram, my Etsy, and my email for more information on private readings. Oh, I just made a fancy new price list. It's very nice. It's very nice. It's got roses on it. It's lovely. So that now I can send like a fancy schmancy PDF file instead of like writing out like the prices for everything. Took me a long time to get here, but you know, business savvy eventually. Thank you so much for being here with me, my loves. I am so extremely proud of you and very excited for what's to come, and very grateful to you for entrusting me with the messages that came through today. And I love you very, very much. Bye. Hello, 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 my loves. Group number 2. If you picked this gorgeous card, you are worth it. I feel like a lot of you are burning a candle right now. Some of you might even be in the bath having like a little spa treatment, you know, might be in the dark in your little tub, your little bath bomb. Others of you, I feel like you could have like an altar, or at the very least like something to a deity or angel or an ancestor, like a specific candle that's burning constantly in your house. I don't know why that's coming up. I guess just for confirmation. We have you are worth it and shift your energy. Okay, what's going on? What's going on here? What's happening here? What's happening here? Some of you could paint in your free time as well. We have the sun. Oh my babies, that came up a lot in group number 1, and it was, oh my god, it was gorgeous. And we have the King of Swords. Okay. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Excuse Rowan for snoring in the background. She's having a very vivid dream. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Okay, so past self is coming through. Someone's saying it doesn't need to be that serious anymore. Okay. All right. So I feel like your past self is coming through to explain what happened, and your future self is coming through to say, it's kind of like, it's like put down the sword. So it does feel as though you were in a very, very, very intensely conflicting situation, a situation where you had to imbue the King of Swords energy. The King of Swords energy is no bullshit. The King of Swords energy is the master of boundaries. You do not overstep in the line of sight of the King of Swords, because he won't fucking stand for that, babe. He is honest. He is trustworthy. He is protective. He doesn't fucking mess around. Look at that. Look at that hunk of burning love. You think you're fucking around with him? You're gonna fuck around. You're gonna find out is exactly what the fuck is gonna happen. And it feels like that's the energy that you've had to imbue. You have had to trust your instincts when it came to an important person in your life, I'm hearing. You've had to set boundaries with that person that were not comfortable to set. Very difficult to set. Someone was very resistant to the boundaries that you were setting, my darlings. And it feels like your past self is saying that was necessary at the time. However, it feels as though those walls that the King of Swords is so masterful at building have been kept up. And they've been kept up for so long, my darlings, that now you're just trying to peek over the top of them and you can't quite see things clearly. So your future self is coming through to say, my baby, you can relax. You can take it easy. You can breathe. You can break down those walls, because that person, it does feel as though it was quite messy, my loves. It feels like somebody fucked around. So maybe somebody fucked around and found out now, didn't they? Somebody fucked around. Somebody was spreading shit about you that was not true. Somebody was trying to start messes that weren't true. Somebody was saying things about you that they had no merit saying. Somebody was doing something that they should not have done to you in retaliation, much like an angry toddler, against the walls that you had placed, the boundaries that you had set against them. And honestly, my loves, that is all the more proof that you were in the right for setting those boundaries. So they can bang their little toddler fists against the brick wall as hard as they want to, my loves. They can't change shit. And to protect yourself, you kept those walls up. And it feels like the dust has settled. It feels as though that person, you know, has an egg on their fucking face. and they've been proven wrong. And, you know, people have seen things with clarity, because when you have that King of Swords energy, my loves, when you are in your honesty, when you are in your genuine truth, when you are acting only as you are and not putting on any kind of airs and not acting in any way that's inauthentic to who you are, people have no choice but to see the truth. And maybe that takes them a little bit. Maybe some people are like, oh, well, they said you did this. Like, is that true? And maybe it takes a bit of explaining. Maybe it takes a bit of patience. Maybe it just takes a bit of waiting something out and letting the truth reveal itself and having people be like, oh, shit. Either way, any way you slice that cheesecake, my babies, the fact of the matter is people now see things with clarity. They recognize that person that you've disconnected from in truth, and they recognize you in your truth. And so, my loves, because that's happened and because you've distanced yourself so much from this person that they have no desire or ability even to return to your life, those walls can come down. It feels like that's the message from your future self, is that, baby, you can bask in that light once again. You don't have to be so stone-faced. You don't have to keep a blockade between you and every new person, you know, because it's like you can trust again. I'm hearing your future self say, my darlings, you can trust again. You know, you are not to blame for the actions and decisions of another person, my loves. You are not to blame because you trusted somebody who performed in a way that would make you want to trust them. Do you know what I mean, my loves? The fact that somebody behaved in a way that made you feel as though they were trustworthy and you then trusted them does not mean you're wrong or bad or foolish or whatever else you may tell yourself now and then, my babies. It just means that you believed the way somebody portrayed themselves as. And that is not a flaw, my darlings. You are not wrong for that. You are not to be belittled for that. And I'll tell you something, my babies, and I say this quite often, very much so, the way that we perceive people and their actions and their choices and behaviors, etc., 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 has to do with what they're showing us, but very often as well has to do with how we would treat people, how we would behave towards people. So it only means that you're a truthful, gentle, loving, authentic person who is a good friend, who is kind-hearted, who is caring and loving. And so you believed that this person was that way as well, my darlings. And when it came to light, which was only for your highest good, my darlings, to see this person in the light of truth for who they were, and the fact that you then had to build walls against them, those walls don't have to stay up anymore, my darlings. You know, you've been protected. Take that for what it was. The King of Swords has all of this intuition here, my babies, all of this wisdom, all of this guidance. It does feel as though there are 3 significant spirit guides around you. I am picking up on a grandfather specifically. I am picking up on, I'm hearing great aunt specifically. And someone younger, someone you knew in the physical. Not younger than you, but younger than the 2 other energies. But could just be 3 spirit guides. Take it as it resonates. My darlings, general reading. But yeah, I can hear your past self being like, no, we needed to do that. That was necessary. And your future self being like, baby, the walls can come down now. You know, because it feels like it's been long enough where you haven't allowed someone new to come in, my darlings. And you miss that. You miss allowing people to come in because you are a very social person. You're very warm. You're very loving. You radiate that sun energy, my babies. And it's time. I'm hearing both your past self and your future self say very clearly, it's time. Okay, what are we doing? Okay, let's pull some of these. It's almost like, you know, permission to not keep yourself in such a tightly closed grip. Do you know what I mean, my darlings? It's like, you know, one bad apple doesn't spoil the bunch kind of a thing. And I don't know who the fuck says, because I have never said that in my life. So that's somebody's spirit guide coming through. That's a grandparent saying if I've ever heard one. Thank you, my babies. Am I taking this or am I taking that? Am I taking this? No? Okay, thank you. But yeah, it's like permission, you know, to trust again, permission to get out there again and to, you know, reconnect with the energy that you had prior to this happening, my darlings. Because one person, yeah, truth, my babies. One person's, you know, mistakes or misgivings. We have truth, success, and love. Absolutely, my love. Abso-fucking-lutely. Do not reflect a lifetime of connection that, you know, you should prevent yourself from having. Do you know what I mean, my loves? Because, excuse my chair, I just hit the wall. Because there are so many good, loving, truthful, authentic people who want to come into your life, and it feels like those walls need to come down for them to come through, my darlings. And it feels like you've gotten a taste of it, my darlings. Some of you could have this resonate with a romantic connection. This is somebody who could have been untruthful or unfaithful to you. For that, I am very sorry, my darlings. Absolute fucking scumbag behavior. And you've had, you know, people since then approach you with romantic interest and you've shut them down, even if they're people who, some of you, I'm hearing you say, like, this is somebody who, you know, I have been romantically interested in for a long fucking time and I blew it. I gotta tell you something, my darlings, if it's meant for you, you haven't blown it. But you have to be willing to open your heart, my loves. You have to be willing to open your heart, because again, your past self is saying it made sense that to get through what we had to get through, you had to kind of put a little lock and key around it, just for the time being, just because you had to get through a very difficult phase that did make your heart feel a little bit bruised, my darlings. But your future self is coming through and saying, okay, now that we've gotten through that, let's open up that cage and let's be heart-centered once more, my babies. The sun energy, it's reminding me of Leo. Leos are very heart-centered. Leos always lead with the heart, my loves. And in order to have those truthful, those deep, those meaningful connections that you're wanting to have, my darlings, you do have to be open-hearted. You have to be heart-centered. You have to connect with people from your heart, my darlings. You can't, you know, you can't put a wall up and wait for somebody to do the hard, strenuous work of climbing to the top of that wall to look down and say, can I come in? And have you say no, and then have that person be like, oh, and then leave and then regret it. Do you know what I mean, my darlings? Like, you have to give connections a chance, because you're very worthy of that love, my darlings. Not just romantic love as well, you know, familial, platonic. Like, you're very worthy of it. Your hard work is paying off. New moon in Capricorn. Confidence is your key to success. New moon in Leo. I would like, what do I want? I would like you, please. Whatever you may be. A win-win outcome is forecast. Full moon in Libra. Absolutely, yeah. So it feels like, you know, you have that clear perception of people. And I know that sometimes, you know, you can get in your head, some of you might be air signs, air or earth, or predominantly so, because you can get in your heads and be like, well, how did I let this happen? How did I let this significant connection, you know, fly under my radar? And again, my loves, it just comes back to the fact that you only believed someone for what they were showing you, and you're not wrong for that, my loves. You're not wrong for trusting somebody. You're never wrong for trusting somebody, but it doesn't mean that you have to completely stay in a space where you're cutting off trust or you're limiting your trust in other people. Because I'll tell you something, my loves, you have a very keen perception of people, a very keen, very genuine perception of people. The way that you see people is very accurate. And again, some of you are going to be like, well, how did I miss this then? Snakes in the grass, my baby. We can't always see them, my loves. It's unfortunate. It sucks. Shouldn't be so, but you're very well protected, and that is why this circumstance came to light, my loves, is because you're that well protected. But now you're through that. You're past that. That person is out, my babies. We have kicked them to the curb. That is a snake that got stuck in a lawnmower. Oh, God, that's graphic. I'm sorry. So, wipe that away. But you deserve healthy, balanced, authentic connections, my babies. And the only way to have those is to allow them to come in. Do you know what I mean, my babies? We have strength. We have good luck, absolutely. I feel like you're going to be seeing a lot of black cats, or have done in the last little while as confirmations as well, my darlings. You could have a black cat. Or a significant family member, I'm hearing, could have had or could have a black cat. And we have inspiration. Okay, my loves. So, okay, this one. Yeah, it feels like I'm hearing your future self say, like, we've had nothing to worry about. You know, the people that are coming into your life from this point forward, my darlings, are coming into your life with good intention. There is a lot of very genuine, very authentic love around you that you're meant to have. You're meant to have that love, and you know you're meant to have that love, my darlings, because when it came to light through divine intervention, very grateful for the spiritual protection around you, my loves. It is strong, it is solid, it is good. But when it came to light that this person who you trusted, valued, and loved was not respecting you or treating you in the way that you deserve, you said absolutely the fuck not. And that's how you know, my babies, that you're aware of what you're deserving of. And that's beautiful. That's wonderful, because there are a lot of people, unfortunately, who are in an energy where they accept behaviors that they shouldn't. They accept less than they're deserving of. Not you, my babies. But that being said, my darlings, again, you can't close yourself off, you know, from authentic connection, because, you know, I can hear you, my babies. I can hear the excuses. I can hear the reasoning. Some of you might be paralegals or lawyers, or just were really good on the debate team. Because everything I say, I can hear like a good number of you bouncing back immediately. Again, air sign, earth sign energy, my babies, goodness me. But it feels like, you know, it's so easy to put an excuse on that. It's so easy to say, well, if I open my heart, what if? Abso-fucking-lutely, my babies. What if? That's a big what if. I am a firm believer, and I feel as though you are as well, because I'm talking to your future self now, my darlings, and we are in agreement. We are in cahoots on this. I am a firm believer that love is always worth the risk in this regard. And love, whether platonic, romantic, otherwise, my babies, can only be achieved by allowing our hearts to be open. And I will say, my darlings, you've recognized a snake in the grass before. You've seen it for what it was, and you've removed it from your life. Was it easy? No. Was it pleasant? Absolutely the fuck not, but you did it. And so, there she is, my love. And so, if it were to happen again, this is not something I feel will happen, but for the sake of hypotheticals, if it were to happen again, you have proven to yourself and everyone else around you that you can handle it, my loves. All right, so we have third chakra, Archangel Camuel, Angel of Love, and financial constraints. Okay, so it feels like this was a person who, some of you could be in like some sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like creative or very competitive field, you know, either for a hobby or professionally. Because I saw at the bottom of the deck for the spellcasting oracle, I saw talent. So it made me feel of like, kind of like, you know, very competitive energy for people who are supposed to be like working together or who are in the same company or some such, but there still is like an element of competitiveness. And, you know, perhaps somebody pulled some silly, shitty little maneuvers in order to, you know, impact you getting a certain position, or you making a certain amount of money, getting a promotion, securing something that you've, you know, worked very hard for, that you're very deserving of. or something in that regard, my darlings. And it feels like if that affected you in terms of workflow or in terms of financial security, that is no, I'm not taking all those, my babies, thank you so much. That is not something that is going to be permanent. I am hearing within 4 months that will rectify itself. 4 weeks to 4 months, but 4 months for the majority of you, my loves. We have the 9 of Cups, we have the 4 of Swords, and we have the 2 of Wands. I'd like one more, please, my loves. Thank you. So, baby, we got the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords. So you are very, very well taken care of, my babies. You are very well protected. You are... I'm hearing from your future self that the boundaries were necessary, because boundaries were not always something that you had in full supply. They were often something that you were made to feel guilty about creating. You're allowed to have those boundaries, my darlings. Those boundaries do not need to be in Alcatraz. Do you know what I mean, my loves? Those boundaries can exist and they can remain in place, absolutely, but they don't need to be impenetrable, because at that point, my darlings, it's only unfair to you and to the people that see you for who you are and who want to value you and who want to appreciate you and who want to love you and treat you in the way that you deserve to be treated. And you deserve to welcome that, my darlings. You should have those kinds of people in your lives, my darlings. It does feel as though with the 9 of Cups here, I'm hearing up until September or the next 9 months, there's going to be a really, really, really solid influx of positive connection and positive experience, your future self is telling me, my darlings. So I feel like that's why there's such a call to, you know, kind of lower the defenses just a little bit, you know. Stay aware, my darlings. You got the King and Queen of Swords. There is not a fucking thing on this earth that could get past your perceptions, my loves. Absolutely the fuck not. Good luck to anybody that may try, goodness me. But, you know, you don't have to hide behind a stone wall. Do you know what I mean, my loves? We have Peacock. Resist the alluring spell of those who would deceive in business or love. The confirmations on that one, my babies. Goodness me. Goodness me. Exactly what we were just talking about. Green Heron, profit through learning and observation. And Raven, listen to your intuition to receive a message from the world of spirit or a friend. That's absolutely fucking gorgeous. And bottom of the deck is Blue-Footed Booby, which will always be funny. Cast aside injured pride and cherish the enduring. Absolutely, my loves. Absolutely. You do not need to punish yourself any longer for the behavior of another, my loves. Absolutely not. Because it was punishment enough that you had to go through it, my babies. It was punishment enough that you had to cut this person off, that you then had to deal with the revolving bullshit that they put you through continuously and cleared them from your space permanently. That was punishment of itself, my loves. You don't need to punish yourself anymore, my darlings. That person punished you enough unwarranted. They got the brunt of the punishment, though, because they lost out on having a fucking fantastic person such as you in their lives now, didn't they, my babies? But your perception is clear, my loves. Your perception is clear. Your awareness of people is clear. You don't need to be so afraid, my loves. And I know you don't like me saying that because you're very, very, very protective of yourselves. Vulnerability is very frightening. And that just comes with having such a tight, secure hold on that heart of yours, my babies. Vulnerability can be scary, but you deserve that vulnerability. Because with vulnerability, yes, comes the risk. But with vulnerability as well comes true and authentic connection and love. And that is what you're worthy of, my darlings. And your past self says so, as well as your future self, my darlings. And this was, you know, this was just one of those experiences, my babies. We have open. We have the crowning. And whispers of Mother Earth. Okay, say yes, expand through the extremes, trust life, initiation, thresholds, birth, rebirth, a seat at the table, creativity, ideas, inspiration, artist, writer, channel. Okay, yeah, so you definitely have an element of creativity about you, my babies. Bottom of the deck is healing is happening. You are not broken. Trust the process. It is safe to soften. The confirmations in this reading are absolutely bananas, my babies. But it was just, yeah, just one of those experiences, my loves. Just one of those experiences that, you know, we have no choice but to take from it what it gave us. And it gave you a clear perception, it gave you an understanding, but it also gave you an awareness of how much you value and respect yourself, my babies. And that is not for nothing. It is not for nothing to realize that we understand the value we hold within ourselves, my babies. And because you have that value within yourself, you are going to be welcoming good connections, my darlings. But those are connections that you're meant to have. Those are connections that you will have. Your past self is grateful for the protection, grateful for the clearing of energy. Your future self says, let's welcome good things in now, my babies. Yeah, you're definitely creatives. I do feel that you're going to go far with that. I do feel as though, especially if you are taking classes pertaining to your creativity, or you are starting a new program, or some of you could be performing in something new. I do feel as though there's two specific energies I'm seeing coming forward that are like closely linked. So those two energies like join with you, you know, and you have a little, I was gonna say thruple. I mean, baby, maybe, but like a little crew, a little supportive team of people who understand your passions and your drive, but also understand and value you. And that is an irreplaceable bond, my darlings. But your future self comes through to say that bond is only possible when you allow your heart to soften a little bit, my darlings, when you allow your perception to remain clear, but your heart to remain open, my babies. And that's what you deserve. You deserve good things, my babies. Is there anything else? Oh my God. They give me a shiver and they tell me no. Group number 2, my sweet, beautiful darlings. The confirmations in that were absolutely bananas. You have a very clear link to spirit, my babies. The messages that come through are very clear for you. Peacocks, blackbirds, starfish I'm hearing, and peonies and roses are big signs for you from spirit, my babies. But I hope you enjoyed that, my loves. If you did, please feel free to leave a comment and let me know. I love hearing from you. I love talking to you. If the reading resonated, my energy resonated, please consider subscribing. All of my links for Patreon that has the exclusive 18+ readings, extended readings, exclusive monthly readings, monthly forecasts, blah, 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 blah. My Instagram, my Etsy, and my email for more information on private readings down below in the description box. Thank you so much for being here with me, my loves. I am so grateful to you. I am very grateful to you for allowing me to bring these messages through. And I hope they provided some clarity and guidance. Thank you so much for being here with me. I love you very, very much. Bye. Oh, I'm rolling away. Holy fucking shit. Hi, babies. Hi, babies. I just had a drink. Rosebloom story time. That's what, oh my God. But you know when you don't realize like how thirsty you are? My throat had been getting a bit dry for the last reading. But I forgot to bring my water bottle with me. So I was like, oh, I can, you know, I'll take a break like after this for a minute or two and I'll go and get a drink. And I had in my bathroom like probably like a liter sized cup. And I filled it and I just chugged the whole thing. I drank like a donkey. It was crazy. Anyway, hello, my beautiful darlings. Group number 3, if you picked this gorgeous card, Infinite Blessings. This is your reading on messages from your past self and your future self. Oh, they're coming in strong, my babies. Oof. Okay. You're very polite, though, because your past self and your future self have a lot to say, but they're, like, taking turns. Very polite. And fresh approach. Okay. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I just got a head rush, my babies. You've been fucking through it, my babies. You have been fucking through it, either since February or in the last 3 months specifically before you're seeing this. Up to 8 months, I'm hearing as well. It feels like I'm hearing topsy-turvy. It's like everything is just completely flipped over, ass over tea kettle. And the process of flipping one's ass over their tea kettle has been... I hope that's like a universally understood saying. I feel like the context is pretty understandable. But the process of flipping one's ass over one's tea kettle has been tumultuous at best. I am hearing your past self explain to me, my babies. It has been uncomfortable as fuck. Very much so, but it does feel... I can hear your past self saying we're through the thick of it now. Like, you're on to bigger and better things. Your future self is saying, oh yeah, no, we're in the clear now, my baby. And yes, there are some loose ends to still tie up, my babies. I feel like you know that. But it feels like the transformation, the ass over tea kettle flipping, has been done and dealt with. And I feel like you almost don't believe me when I say that, because, oh, babies, come on now. Oh, somebody, okay, all right. So it feels like you almost don't believe me because there's been so many instances where you have asked aloud or internally to catch a break. And you don't like admitting that, because in admitting that, you feel as though you're admitting some kind of weakness, my babies. You could have some fire sign energy in you, my babies, or some earth as well. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But that's not admitting weakness, my babies. To say, I don't want to go through this anymore. Can you please slow down the ride? I need a fucking second, is not weakness, my loves. That is human nature. You're human. And I feel like that in and of itself is difficult enough for you to admit sometimes, my babies, that you are very, very human. But it's been a lot, my loves. It has been a lot. I can hear, because I can hear your past self just like sitting back in an armchair being like, holy shit. And it's like, it's like, yes, you got through it, my babies. Absolutely you did. There's not a single fucking thing on this earth that you could not get through. But has it been easy or comfortable or pleasant, or would you like to do it again? Absolutely the fuck not, my babies. However, the reassurance is that you're through it. You're through it, and really good things are happening, my babies. You have a new sense of clarity, and it feels like some of what you've gone through, not all, because there are some things you've gone through that you shouldn't have had to go through, my babies. And I'm sorry for what you've gone through and what you've experienced, that the things that were very, very, very difficult to go through to get to the other side of. But you have done that, my babies, and you have an infinite amount of strength within you and an infinite ability to persevere through things. And things now, reassurance coming through very strongly that things are lighter and things are easier, and things will continue to get so. But you have a renewed sense of clarity. You have a renewed ability to see things, which it feels like that's almost what you needed, because it's like so much of what you were going through before wasn't working for you. You know, the way that you were doing work wasn't working. The way that you were just experiencing day-to-day life, it just was not working for you anymore, my babies. And you wanted to get unstuck from it, but you had no idea how. And so these shakeups happened in part to allow you to see things with a renewed sense of clarity, in order to move forward in a way that was beneficial to you, my babies. Because it feels like the last 2 to 8 months specifically have really, really, really dogged down on you, my loves. We have the 6 of Pentacles and we have the 2 of Cups. So This is interesting. It's interesting because of the imagery here with the two hands. Six of Pentacles is giving and receiving, equal giving and receiving consistently, my babies. And the Two of Cups is very much the same in a bit of a different way, in a very, very loving way. And so it's interesting because it feels as though, aside from your past and future self, there's another energy here that was helping you through this. But with the hands and the fact that we can't see anybody, I do feel as though this is a person who is going to be linked to you in the physical, but as of now is working with you in spirit. And that's very, very interesting because I can hear your past self say, yeah, we got through it, but we didn't get through it alone. And your future self is saying, we couldn't have gotten through this alone. And that's not a dig at you, my babies. There is, again, not anything you could not get through, but it feels like there's been moments where, you know, it's like a moment of reprieve from like heaviness and sadness, and it would just hit you out of nowhere. You know, you'd go to bed in just a really rough state, you'd have had a really stressful time, and you'd wake up the next day and you'd feel fresh, and you'd feel new, and you'd feel optimistic and hopeful, and you would feel as though, you know, you would feel confident in the knowledge that everything was going to be all right. And it feels as though in those moments, my darlings, in those moments of clarity and perception and ease on you, in between the heavier times, that's when this person would come through, my babies. But let's look more into it. Let us pull some more cards, because it does feel as though it really, really, really feels as though it, you know, pertains to so many different aspects of your life. It feels as though a lot of you, it's pertaining to work. I can hear you saying, like, I love what I do, but it needed to change or I wouldn't have been able to do it anymore. And that thought really scared you, because, again, you love what you do, but it's just sort of, it's almost like you got stuck in a certain avenue of what you do and you couldn't get unstuck, and you were like, I don't see a way to get out of this, but I need to get out of this because there's no way that I can maintain this. There's no way I can keep going this way, doing this like this. It needs to change. It needs to shift. And that, you know, that's scary. Of course, that's scary, my babies. Courage, of course. Absolutely, my loves. We have fulfillment, illumination, and courage. Absolutely gorgeous. And it feels like, you know, it's kind of like you would take the steps to make the changes, the improvements, and then you would second guess yourself, and you would be like, no, what if this ends up backfiring? Or what if this, you know, ends up disappointing some people? Or what if this ends up, you know, working against me in some kind of way? And you would revert back to the way it was before, but then that wouldn't work because it didn't work initially, my loves. And, you know, there was a fear of making less money, and there was a fear of, you know, if I prioritize myself, happiness, my babies, it's the way to go. If I prioritize myself, there she is. There she is. I knew she was there. We have happiness, love, compassion, and trust. Absolutely gorgeous. I need one more for over here because my brain works in a certain type of way. And we have talent. Okay, so it feels like, bottom of the deck is confidence, my loves. Absolutely gorgeous. It feels like you could work. I feel like you're either an independent worker, you work for yourself, you have your own business, you're your own boss, you're a freelancer, etc., etc. Confirmation, thank you, my babies. Or they're telling me to check it. Oh, thank you. Bring it back, please, my love. Thank you. Or you're a creator of some kind. You utilize your creativity. You utilize what you do and create comes from within you, kind of a thing. You could not do what you do to the degree that you do it if not for your passion and your will and your creativity and your drive. You know, it's not like going in to work every day and filling out accounting documents, or I'm sorry if you're an accountant, I love you, grateful for what you do. Or something like that. Do you know what I mean, my loves? Like the inspiration has to strike for you to do what you do. I'm sorry for how much I just stuttered. I stutter when I get excited. And so it was almost this fear of like, what if the wells run dry? And it's like, no, baby, the well hasn't run dry because the well is endless within you, my loves. There is not a fucking bit in you that is dry. Yep, no, I said it, so I'm committing to it. But it was scary because, you know, when it comes to that kind of a thing, my babies, when it comes to what we do for a living coming from within us, it's very easy to give too much. It's very easy to take out more than we're giving back to ourselves. 2 of Cups energy, my baby. 6 of Pentacles energy. You were giving everything outwardly. Not very much was getting given back to yourselves, my babies, and that is coming from both your past and your future selves, my darlings. And fuck. Okay, hang on. I'm in a precarious position. Hang on. There we go. Thank you, my loves. It feels like, you know, it was like something had to give. You know, something had to give, something had to be lenient because you were... Feels like it was getting detrimental to your health, my babies. I do have to say I'm feeling a very, very, very tight pressure in my chest that could just pertain to anxiety. For a lot of you, I feel as though it does. Stress as well, though. Stress, overwhelm, not sleeping properly, not eating properly, not prioritizing yourself, my babies. And so it feels like you're doing that now. Is it scary? Abso-fucking-lutely. Daunting as hell, my loves, because it's unfamiliar to you. You are very dedicated to what you do. You are very, 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 very hardworking, my loves. You will always put obligation, responsibility, and dedication above your well-being, my darlings, but that's not the way it's meant to go, my loves. And you're learning that. Life is a learning experience, my babies. There is a lot of pride for you in that regard. And things are changing. Things are changing, and that can be uncomfortable. But because you've already gone through so much shift and change, my babies, because it's like, you know, you needed that kind of nudging forward to be like, no, this needs to change, my baby, just because of unconditional love for you from the divine, my darlings. It was like this needed to change because it was getting to the point where it was going against you. What you love to do, what you do on the daily was going against you, my babies, and it wasn't bringing you happiness. It wasn't bringing you fulfillment. It was damaging you. It was bringing you unhappiness. It was bringing you stress, and you don't deserve that, my babies. You deserve good things. You deserve love and compassion and in all of its forms, and especially towards yourself, my babies. And so it's beautiful that your future self is showing me this person who has this energy, this radiant, happy, glowing, loving energy, who must be fucking intuitive beyond belief because they've connected to you enough to understand at the very least what you're feeling, and to encourage you and love you and protect you in that way as you go through these things, and as you have come to light on your own terms and realize, no, I need to make these changes. We have don't let pride get in your way, full moon in Leo. Your hard work is paying off, new moon in Capricorn. Absolutely, my babies. Thank you so much. Balance, spirituality, and practicality. Full moon in Pisces. Prosperity lies ahead, new moon in Taurus. And communication is key, new moon in Gemini. This is gorgeous. Stunning. I love what I'm seeing. So I'm hearing your future self tell me very clearly, my babies, that just alone with the new boundaries that you've set in terms of work, you're going to go so much farther than you could ever imagine, my babies, because now you have given yourself the permission to focus on the projects that you have on the go, to focus on the things that you want to see come to fruition in a big way. You have big dreams for yourself, my babies. There is not a fucking soul on this earth that can dream nearly as big as a Taurus. Taurus sees the grand scale of things. See, there is nothing that is unachievable to a Taurus, my babies. You could be Taurus, you could have Taurus energy, my loves. And you want big things. You want to do something big. There is a story to tell within you, my babies. There is so much light within you that demands to be shared, that demands to be spread. And it will be. It will be on a grand scale. It's going to be magnificent, my loves. That I can see fully, truly, and clearly. It's going to be amazing. Absolutely amazing. In terms of your personal connections, my babies, it does feel as though there's been a lot shifting there as well. I'm hearing you tell me, it feels like your past self. And it's like you've always had some form of connection. You know, I feel like a lot of you are still connected to your childhood or your younger friends. And those connections are good. Those connections are strong. But I can hear your past self telling me, this is how we find what we've always been looking for. And they're pointing at this person whose hands we see. And your future self saying, yeah, no, they're the one we've been looking for. There's a song, I think it's a Disney song, the one we've been waiting for, or the one you've been looking for, something like that. Is it from Tangled? I'm not sure. And it's like because you, on a subconscious level, feels very strongly. I don't know if a lot of you are aware of this person yet, my babies. But because you're subconsciously, at the very least, aware of this person's energy, there has been a lot of shifting and flowing in regards to the connections you have in your life, my darlings. It feels as though you've been able to recognize toxicity much more easily. You've been able to recognize when people just don't have your best interest at heart, especially for those of you who are creatives. You know, it feels as though a lot of you are very successful in your career path. You're very successful. You've really made a name for yourself. You have a lot of recognition. You have a lot of attention on you in a lot of ways, my babies. And so when that happens, very naturally, there are leeches that kind of come forward and come towards you and put on a happy face and say, hello, respect you, value you, but they want something from you, my babies. And that's very often been the case in your connections. Because you are such a heart-centered person, because you're so generous, you're so giving, there has been a lot of energy that you've been around of people who have wanted from you, my babies. And your future self is saying, no more, because now we recognize when somebody wants to take more than we can give. And that is a huge lesson for you to have learned, my babies. Because even there was a time, your past self is telling me, where even if you were in a circumstance where you were aware that somebody was taking more than you were able to give, you would still find a way to give it. You would find any possible way within you, my loves, to work around ever having to say no. Whether this person was significant to you in a grand or a small way, you would do everything in your power to never have to say no to a person, my loves. And in doing that, that has become a pattern of behavior where you've been unable to say no. And when you get into a pattern of being unable to say no, my loves, at what point do you muster up the strength to say, actually, no, not this time? It's hard to do, my loves. It is hard to do, but your future self is telling me you have become a master of it. Does not mean your knee-jerk reaction is to then say no at every opportunity, but it does mean that you no longer have to give yourself permission in the form of finding an excuse or finding a full reason to say no. If you feel called to say no, you simply say no, and that is beautiful energy for you to have, my babies. That is the energy that you are deserving of, my loves. And it's through those limitations that you're able to have better and more fulfilling experiences in work, better and more fulfilling connections. But also how you find your way to this lovely, darling, intuitive person who has just been giving you oodles and oodles of love, affection, and protection in the ethers, my darlings. Absolutely gorgeous energy. Blue butterflies, big signifiers for you, my babies. Koi fish, as well as cherry blossoms, as well as forget-me-nots, as well as waterfalls and rainbows. We have indecision, victory, absolutely, my loves. Hostilities, and do I want one more? I do, but I want this one. Adjacent possibilities. Okay, gorgeous. Yes. Absolutely, absolutely. So, you're definitely unstuck, my babies. Your future self is telling me very clearly we've gotten unstuck. Your past self is telling me we were stuck for way too long. And you know what, my babies? That is okay, because the decision, you know, needed to be made in an authentic and truthful way. And you had to get yourself to the point of making that decision, because nobody else was able to do that for you, my babies. People could tell you things and you'd be like, yeah. But at the end of the day, the decision had to come from you, my darling. So you made that decision. You made the changes actively. Feels like it's very recent for a lot of you that you've made these changes, but you've made them. And once you solidly made those changes, my babies, feels like a lot of you are already seeing the positive benefits of it, my darlings. And I do hear your future self saying in a very encouraging way that you have the courage to continue to make those choices, my loves. And the more that you make them, the longer you make the decision, my voice just cracked, the longer you make the decisions with your best interest in mind, the easier it becomes, my babies. And I do see a lot of doors opening for you, my loves. A lot of opportunities that you've been afraid have been passing you up are going to open up for you in the next year to 18 months specifically as well, my darlings. There's a lot of really, really good, really exciting things that are going to come your way. Some things that you expect and hope for, other things that you couldn't see coming 1,000 miles away, my babies, because you've prioritized yourself, and that's a wonderful energy to put a ripple effect through in the world, my babies, and you're deserving of that. We have judgment, absolutely. We have, oh Jesus, we have Page of Swords, we have Knight of Swords, and we have Four of Cups. Okay, gorgeous. So I am hearing, oh, we have the Queen of Cups as well. She was flipped over. That is our person. That is your person, my babies. Again, regardless of gender, we never look at that, my babies. That does not exist where we are. The Queen of Cups energy is somebody who is devoted, compassionate, kind, loving, romantic, and psychic as fuck, and that is the energy of this person. It feels like you've had a huge awakening, and it feels like for some of you that awakening has been a little bit uncomfortable. Some of you it could be a health scare, some of you it could be, you know, somebody around you, a family member maybe, just telling you, hey, I'm really fucking worried about where you're headed. But you've had some kind of awakening. Some of you, it could have just been one day you woke up, looked around and said, no, this shit needs to change. I am not existing in this space anymore. I need to fix this. And doing it. That's amazing. I feel as though some of you could have, in the last year to 2 years especially, gotten in the habit of overindulging in something a little bit. It could be alcohol, it could be food, it could be sex, it could be rock and roll, whatever the fuck. Something that you at one point enjoyed, but now you're finding you don't enjoy it as much. It's like, it's a habit. And it's gotten to the point where it's almost taking over control of your life a little bit. And I do hear your future self telling you in a very reassuring way, we've broken that. But the first step has to come from you. Because a lot of you, I feel like you're worried that it's something that, you know, will follow you forever, that you'll never kind of shake free. But you do regain control of that. Some of you, that does not mean that you give it up completely. But you do regain a reign on it that does allow it to, you know, positively impact your life. It's not something that will have any kind of control over you any longer. It's not something that will have any negative control over you any longer. It is something that you will have complete control over once more, my babies. I do feel as though somebody is watching you on social media. It could be this person, so this person could be aware of you in the physical. As for why they haven't reached out to you yet, my darlings, either this, I'm seeing the split hands. So either they've reached out to you and it's lost in your, you know, DM folder. I'm hearing your future self say, make sure you look through those closely, or your notifications or some such. Others of you, it's because of your privacy settings. This person can't get to you. However, in that case, you are going to become aware of this person. This person still, I feel, is watching you, but can't get a hold of you because of your privacy settings. So you become aware of this person. It's very serendipitous, very beautiful, my darlings. I do feel as though you are going to be the one to take action towards them, or at the very least accept their intention and then reciprocate with action. But you are the one who creates the forward momentum, my darlings. It feels as though, it feels like that's the way you have asked for things to be. You want to be in control enough that things don't move at a pace that is outside of what you're comfortable with. So you want to be the one to take action, my babies. But it does feel as though with the Queen of Cups and the Raven, my darlings, there is a very strong psychic link between you and this person. There's a lot of telepathy going on. There's a lot of visiting each other in dreams. There's a lot of messages being sent back and forth through songs, my loves. I'm hearing your future self tell me, oh, bring it back, my babies. Something to do with Coldplay and Panic at the Disco. Your future self is saying that playlist that you've forgotten about. They're saying there's a lot of truth in that playlist that you've forgotten about, or a playlist that you haven't listened to in a very long time. Something maybe you made when you were like fucking 16 or something, or 26. I'm hearing as well. We have Raven, listen to your intuition to receive a message from the world of spirit or a friend. Green Heron, profit through learning and observation. Flamingo, flamingos are soulmates as well, my babies. Nourish your soul and you will survive harsh circumstances. And Carmine, Bee Eater, flourish by asking for the help of the powerful. Bottom of the deck is Barn Owl, love approaches unexpectedly. What the fuck is going on? This is beautiful, my loves. This is fucking gorgeous energy. This is amazing. So continuing to take care of yourself, my babies. Your past self is saying it's high time that we did that. Your future self is saying that's something we need to maintain. You don't need permission from anybody, my loves. You do not need permission from anybody. You want to take a holiday. You want to have a few days to relax. You don't need to apologize to anybody for that, my babies. You're prioritizing yourself. Why the fuck would you feel sorry for that? Absolutely not. You do what you feel called to do, my babies. You trust your intuition. But I'm also hearing your future self say, go for the things that you want to go for. That's something that you've always had a hard time doing, my loves. This is the time to do that, because it feels like it's really going to go in your favor, my loves. We have the reunion, soul recognition, collaboration, partnership, and friendship. Holy fucking shit. We have the Temple of the Rose, ancient power, expression, activation, and scarlet codes. Which one wants to come out? You want to come out? Oh, you two want to come out. Okay. We have the anointed, answer the call, leadership, empowerment, and soul gifts. And Sub Rosa, hidden in plain sight, mysteries, leaving and teaching. Anything else? No? Okay. So this is definitely a divine counterpart, this person, which would make sense because of how closely linked you two are to each other, because of how clear the intuitive link between you both is. I feel as though actually your dreams are going to be getting a lot more vivid the closer you get to this person. Honestly, for a lot of you, I keep hearing 2, so within 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, you could be meeting this person. I do not feel as though it's as long as 2 years. A small number of you it could be, but it feels much closer than that, my darlings. I don't know what this song is. Your future self is, I feel like a lot of you had a really significant Panic at the Disco phase. Because I don't know what this song is. I'm pretty sure it's a Panic at the Disco song. Your future self is singing it. It's something bubblegum queen, something guillotine, something, something, something. They're singing it so fucking fast, which is truthfully how, you know, Panic at the Disco song goes, very quick. But yeah. And, okay, that song and Yellow by Coldplay, but also specifically the line, be my mirror, my sword, and my shield, from the Coldplay song. I think it's Viva la Vida. And it feels like those lines in particular resonate very heavily with this connection. Be my mirror, my sword, and my shield. Because you two are divine counterparts, you're going to be mirroring each other, my babies. That's absolutely gorgeous energy. My sword and my shield. There is a lot of protection here. You give this person protection as well, my darlings, whether or not you're aware of it. You do give this person protection as well, my babies. But I feel as though those songs are going to be popping up public transportation while you're out in a store. Could pop up in your playlist. Could just pop up, you wake up one day and it's stuck in your head out of nowhere. Particularly those lines or the chorus of those songs, my loves. And it feels as though those are very solid signifiers that this person is just about to pop into your life. And honestly, my loves, with this psychic energy, with this divine counterpart energy, it feels like that's the way it is. It feels like they just pop into your life. But I do feel as though you meet them online. I'm hearing that very clearly because I keep seeing water. Okay. Very interesting. This just popped out to me, the new moon in Gemini card here, and this didn't click before, which is probably why it had to be hanging down. At the time that I am filming this, our next new moon is going to be in Gemini. I believe it's the second week of June, the new moon in Gemini. So if you're watching this at the time that it's posted, around the time that it's filmed, that new moon, especially with communication is key, that new moon could be when you come into contact with this person. The following new moon after you watch this video doesn't have to be new moon in Gemini, or the next new moon in Gemini could be significant to you as well, my babies. The fact that that was sticking out and that's the next new moon and communication is key. I feel as though this is happening very quickly. I feel like you two are just right. It feels like I'm seeing, you know, those pictures they have online sometimes. Have you ever been online? And it's like two people getting married and they're standing like on a, you know, there's a corner of a building and someone's standing here and someone's standing here and they're like holding hands, but they can't see each other yet because they're, you know, there's this corner of the building blocking them. That's how close you two feel. It feels fucking impossibly close. But very good things happening at work, my darlings, and this beautiful love connection. Your future self is telling me that all of your dreams are coming true much faster than you realize. But the nice thing is about us, your future self is saying, is that we can always come up with new dreams. And if I can hear your future self saying, with this person as well, we realize that the dreams that we've had aren't even the tip of the iceberg for the dreams that we're going to have for ourselves. And that's absolutely gorgeous. Is there anything else? Oh my God. They give me a shiver and they tell me, no, my sweet, beautiful angels, group number 3. That is so fucking exciting. I am very proud of you, I will say, my loves. Your past life, your past self and future self are proud of you as well, my darlings, because what you have gone through has not been easy. The choices that you've made have not been easy. The things that you have gone through have not been easy. However, you have come through the other side of it, my babies, and you are on to bigger, better, and more wonderful things that you're deserving of, my love. So keep on the path, because you're on the right path. I'm hearing it very strongly that it's really important to reassure you that you're on the right path, that you're doing the right thing, that you're making the right choices, because you can second guess yourself a lot, my loves. You're doing everything right, my loves. You're doing everything right. Good things are happening for you, my babies. And will continue to do so, my loves. Like really, 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 really good things. You should feel really proud of yourselves, my babies. Be gentle with yourselves. Be compassionate with yourselves. And know that, you know, the good things that are happening are things that you're deserving of and that you are welcoming and better than you can even imagine, my babies, I'm hearing you say. Very exciting stuff. I hope that you enjoyed that, my loves. If you did, please feel free to leave a comment and let me know. I'd love to hear from you, love to talk to you. If the reading resonated, my energy resonated, please consider subscribing. All of my links for the extended 18 plus readings, the monthly forecast and exclusive monthly readings on Patreon, as well as my Etsy, my Instagram, and my email for more information on private readings are down in the description box below. Thank you so much for being here with me, my loves. I am so excited for all of the wonderful things that are to come for you. Really wonderful things. You deserve the very best, my loves, and it's happening. That I can assure you, it is happening for you. Thank you so much for being here with me, my loves. I love you very, very much. Bye. Hello, my darlings. My sweet group 4. Last but not least, my beautiful loves. What's going on? Why do you need to catch your breath? As soon as I pulled your pile and picked up the card, I wasn't even looking at it. I was looking over here because I don't ever look down, which is why things are usually in a state of disarray over here. And it just felt like I had just like forgotten how to breathe for a few moments. And so I was like, and that's what it feels like. It feels like you need that big, massive exhale. It's like, okay, we're done. We're through it. We're on the other side of it. That's a big theme for today's readings, my loves. Be true to your heart. Okay, that's gorgeous. Be true to your heart. And then we have all the green over here with the heart chakra energy. What's going on, my babies? Let's look into it. We have judgment. Okay, okay, okay. And we have the Page of Pentacles. Okay, something we've been waiting for a long time, my loves. You're ready to dedicate yourself to being patient for it and seeing it come to fruition. You're understanding now. Doesn't feel like you have the entire time, but now you're understanding that what you were building, what you were creating, the seeds that you have planted need time, love, and affection to grow, and you are willing to give them that time because you're seeing clearly now that what is going to come to fruition from it is worthwhile and is what you're meant to be having, my babies. And honestly, that feels nothing short of divine intervention. That realization has come through for you, my loves. Okay. I'm hearing your past self say, see, we should have listened to ourselves all along, and your future self saying, yeah, no, our heart's always been right. So it's almost a matter of like a situation proving to you that, you know, you've kind of known what was what all along. And proving to you farther that the way that you see things and understand them is the way that they actually are, my loves. We have courage. I'd like you, please. We have freedom. Okay, that's beautiful. And we have illumination. Yeah, so seeing things clearly, my love, seeing things with a newfound brightness, with a newfound clarity. I'm hearing your future self say we're no longer stuck in waiting. And I feel like that resonates with the Page of Pentacles, where it's like, it feels like you, for a long time, were stuck in a place where you like waited for your life to begin. You know, you always had to wait for the next step of something. But now it's like, no, I know that I get to experience life fully, even in those in-between moments, even when, you know, things aren't happening fully, even when I'm not achieving anything specific, I can still enjoy the journey of life. And it feels like for a lot of you that has to do with your manifestations. It's like, you know, I understand now that, thank you, my loves, that I don't need to just stay stuck in waiting for things to happen. I can have them happen, and that can be wonderful, and I can be excited for when they happen, but I can enjoy the many, 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 many periods of time between those manifestations. And I can fill them with good memories and with good experiences and with happiness in whatever form that may take for me. We have home, beauty, and commitment. That's absolutely gorgeous, my babies. And bottom of the deck is peace, my loves, which is lovely. And it feels like, you know, your past self is saying like that's something we always had to learn, because like we missed out on a lot by feeling as though, you know, we couldn't feel content until we saw our manifestations come to fruition. And your future self seeing, yeah, see, isn't it fun to enjoy, you know, the period of the in-between? And it feels like you've noticed that. It feels like, yeah, my babies, feels like you've been experiencing a lot more joy in your day-to-day life. You just feel better, my babies. You feel more content. You feel more excited to get up in the morning and to experience life fully every single day. And that's wonderful, my loves. That's fucking magnificent. We have believe in the impossible, blue moon. Prosperity lies ahead, new moon in Taurus. That's gorgeous. And step out of your comfort zone, north node, and you are good enough, full moon in Virgo. Okay, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful energies. It feels like this is the perfect time for this to happen too, because it feels like there's one singular massive manifestation that you've been waiting on for a very, 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 very long time. And so the fact that, you know, now you're able to be in this place where it's like, no, like when it happens, that's fantastic, and I will welcome it with open arms, and I will be excited for it, and that's all fine and good and wonderful. But, you know, I'm not going to hold myself back from the daily experiences that I want to have, because there's things that I want for myself. There's things that, you know I can have that I don't need to wait for. You know, I can go out with my friends and I can laugh and I can enjoy myself. I can spend time with my family and reconnect with them that way. I can, you know, start up a class for a hobby that I've always wanted to learn. Like, I can bring fulfillment to myself, and the time will pass as it passes, because it's gonna pass whether I fill it with joy or not, my babies. And I can get to the other side of that time and welcome my manifestation while feeling happy and fulfilled. And it is a beautiful energy. There is so much pride coming from both your past self and your future self in regards to that, my loves. Because your future self is saying, like, we finally gave ourselves that balance that we were missing for so long. And it feels like, very much so, a lot of you felt like something was missing for a long time and you couldn't quite put your finger on it. You couldn't quite... absolutely, my loves. You couldn't quite, oh, fuck me, okay. Figure out what that element of what was missing was. And it's, you would, you know, run in circles again and again and again, trying to figure it out. And it feels like for a lot of you, bottom of the deck is the Wheel of Fortune. Absolutely gorgeous, my loves. It feels like for a lot of you, you know, that element of something missing was what you credited to the delay in your manifestations. And it's like, no, not at all, my babies. Your future self is saying, no, we needed that balance. We needed to write things on our own terms and to have things be settled in our own way, because we deserve that. And that's 100% true, my babies. For a lot of you, I do feel as though what you're manifesting is your divine partner, is your, you know, divine union, is your person. Some of you, it could be somebody coming back to you who you're missing. Others of you, it just could be your real, genuine, authentic, truthful person. Again, it does feel as though that's coming in due time, my babies. But it feels like you're in the right headspace of no longer worrying so much about timing. And I feel like that's something that kind of shocks you when you realize it, because it feels like your past self is telling me there was a point in time where you were so, oh, fuck me, okay. Feels like your past self is telling me there was a point in time where you were so, oh, fuck me, okay. Feels like your past self is telling me there was a point in time where you were so, oh, fuck me, okay. Feels like your past self is telling me there was a point in time where you were so, oh, fuck me, okay. Feels like your past self is telling me there was a point in time where you were so, oh, fuck me, okay. Feels like your past self is telling me there was a point in time where you were so, oh, fuck me, okay. Feels like your past self is telling me there was a point in time where you were so, oh, fuck me, okay. Feels like your past self is telling me there was a point in time where you were so, oh, fuck me, okay. Feels like your past self is telling me there was a point in time where you were so, oh, fuck me, okay. Feels like your past self is telling me there was a point in time where you were so, oh, fuck me, okay. Feels like your past self is telling me there was a point in time where you were so, oh, fuck me, okay. Feels like your past self is telling me there was a point in time w determined to know the timing of how things would unfold, and you know, so you would get so let down when that timing would come to pass, and you know, you wouldn't even give yourself the opportunity to notice how far you would come from point A to point B. You would just say, okay, I'm at point B and I don't have everything I want. I don't have everything I was told I would have. What the fuck is going on? Whereas now you get to see your achievements more clearly because you're not so hell-bent on the timing and on achieving a certain specific goal, but rather enjoying the process of it, my loves. We have short-eared owl. Inner peace and a sense of wonder are regained by immersing yourself in nature. We have raven. Listen to your intuition to receive a message from the world of spirit or a friend. Rhinoceros, hornbill, perfect trust will be rewarded with its like. Absolutely, my babies, that's how it goes. And sunbittern, outflank adversaries by keeping a low profile until threatened. And bottom of the deck is pheasant, adapt to place and circumstance to discover happiness and contentment. That's what it's about for you, my babies. That is what it's about for you right now, my babies. You are happy and you are content where you are. And there is so much pride because you deserve that happiness and that contentment. And you are fully understanding that you're deserving of good things, but also that you will have those good things. But also your future self is saying, we fully understand now that we've never had to force those good things to find their way to us, my babies. We have the wasteland, sustainability, slow down, tend to your garden. Absolutely, my babies, that's what you're doing. The child within, inner mother, and innocence, gentleness, and tenderness. We have the sun, that's gorgeous. Joy, enjoyment, life force, success, vitality, and play. And morning dew, clarity, a fresh start, and a positive outlook, my loves. It is worth everything to you, to your past self, to your future self, and to your current self, my babies, that you have that complete, fulfilling happiness within you. That is such a fucking massive deal. That is something that you could not ever take for granted, because for a long time that's not something that felt very attainable for you. Now, my babies, you are in a place where there is constant gratitude from you, my loves. There is such a beautiful streamline between you and spirit. And because of that, I feel like you've noticed a lot of abundance coming into your life, my babies. Good things seem to gravitate towards you very naturally because of the type of person that you are, because of the gratitude that you put out into the world. You're very generous in a lot of ways, my babies. You tip really well. You're kind and thoughtful to others. You are compassionate. I feel like charities are a big deal for a lot of you. You're just very, 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 very heart-centered, and there's a lot of contentment in that. And I feel like you've noticed that. I feel like you've noticed that there's a lot of contentment in not so much focus on the outer and what you're lacking, but just existing in the space that you have and making that space fulfilling. And through that, my babies, you're welcoming a lot more into your life, and it's really beautiful to see. I do feel as though you've been doing a lot of inner child work in the last 2 to 3 years, my darlings. Specifically, I feel like you've been really parenting yourselves, reparenting yourselves, I should say, being kind and gentle with yourselves. And I feel like that also, your future self is telling me, has helped you kind of align with, you know, being more gentle and compassionate with your expectations of yourselves, and not being so hard on yourselves, and not focusing so much on, okay, where are we lacking? What are we, you know, missing out on? What are we, you know, we don't have this, so what have we done wrong, or what have we not done correctly, you know, to kind of miss this opportunity. There's a lot of heat, almost like somebody's like gently tugging on my right ear, if that resonates with you, my darlings. But it also feels like, you know, when somebody gets in close to your right ear and starts talking and you can feel their breath, that's what it feels like. So I do feel as though those of you who are connected or can see your spirit guides or your angels, a lot of them are on your right side especially. But instead of that, instead of being like, where are we, you know, where are we falling short? What are we not doing right? Instead, you're like, no, it's just not right now. It will come as it's meant to come, or it will come in a form that's better than I expect. but right now is not when it's supposed to come. And it's a beautiful energy, my babies, because you have contentment, you have ease of mind. I feel as though for a lot of you, there's been health issues that you've been dealing with for quite a long time that in the last 6 months to a year are starting to lift because you're relieving yourselves of that extra stress and pressure. A lot of you are sleeping better. Some of you could have had insomnia for quite a long time. I feel like that's lifting. You feel more relaxed, you feel more content, you feel more present in conversations. I feel as though your connections with people have really improved and solidified because you're more present in the moment as opposed to kind of being elsewhere, maybe with your mind or your thoughts. And it feels like anything that you want will come to you, or it will arrive in better form than you anticipate, my loves. And that's a very, very, very beautiful energy to have, my loves. Is there anything else that give me a shiver and they tell me, no, group number 4, you are absolutely fantastic? That's beyond. That is beyond anything, my loves. That is absolutely magnificent. There is a lot of excitement from your future self about what is to come for you, my babies. They're like, I'm not giving any spoilers. I'm not spoiling any surprises, but I'm just going to say it's better than we ever thought it would be. And that's gorgeous, because that's what you deserve, my babies. You are building something strong and stable and something certain and something that is going to last forever, as you are deserving of, my loves. And I feel like you have realize that. I feel like you've noticed, you know, just how much is attainable for you and just how much you're deserving of, and that's absolutely magnificent, my darlings. I hope that you enjoyed that, my babies. If you did, please feel free to let me know. I would love to talk to you. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to be excited and congratulate you for all of the wonderful things that you've been doing and are continuing to do. If the reading resonated, my energy resonated, oh my god, please feel free to subscribe. All of my links for Patreon with the exclusive extended 18 plus readings, monthly exclusive readings, monthly forecasts, so on, what have you. My Instagram, my Etsy, and my email for more information on private readings are down below in the description box. Thank you so much for being here with me, my loves. Very, very excited for you. That's absolutely wonderful. And I love you very, very much. Bye.